Listen carefully, because this conversation could change how you see every argument you'll ever have with a woman. I want to talk about what really happens after you fight with your wife or girlfriend, and why most men completely destroy their relationships in those moments without even realizing it. Let's start with a hard truth. She's not going to make peace first. You can wait all day, all week. It doesn't matter. That magical moment where she suddenly realizes she was wrong and comes running back. It's not coming. You'll be sitting there growing older, wondering why the woman who said she loved you can suddenly act like you don't exist. And here's why. Because for most men, the way we respond to conflict trains her exactly how to treat us. You see, 98% of men are raised to believe peace comes from apology. Just say you're sorry, they tell us. Be the bigger man. But what they really mean is submit. And that's the beginning of the end, not just of your authority, but of her attraction to you. How men get trained to fail. When I was younger, maybe 28, 29, I was in a relationship with a stunning woman. Smart, funny, everything. But every time we had even the smallest disagreement, I'd rush to fix it. Forgot to call? Sorry. Showed up late? Sorry. She got upset about something trivial? I'd buy flowers, promise to do better, anything to make the tension disappear. I thought that was maturity. I thought that's what good men do. But what I was really doing was training her like Pavlov's dog. Ring the bell, get food. She'd get upset, and I'd give her my submission, my energy, my apology. Soon all she had to do was ring the bell, start some drama, and I'd show up on cue, ready to beg for peace. And like any reward system, the behavior repeated itself because I was rewarding drama. That's when I realized something that every man needs to understand. When you constantly apologize, you don't show love. You show weakness. And no woman stays attracted to a man she can control. Why women test you, even when they don't know they're doing it. When women create drama, it's not always because they're cruel or manipulative. It's instinct. They test your emotional strength to see if you're still the man they can trust, still the man who stands firm under pressure. When you break down and apologize for every emotional wave, you fail that test. Not because you're bad, but because you're predictable. And predictability kills attraction. Women don't fantasize about the man who says, "Yes, dear," "Sorry, dear." They dream about the man who looks them in the eye and calmly says, "Enough." Not with anger, not with cruelty, just calm, steady leadership. Care submission. Now, don't misunderstand me. This isn't about being cold or careless. Real care doesn't come from apologies. It comes from action. It's taking initiative. It's remembering what she likes, showing effort, creating experiences. That's care. But apologizing every time her emotions flare up, that's not care. That's compliance. And compliance kills desire. A friend named Alex. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine, let's call him Alex, was married for 7 years. Good man. Worked hard. Tried everything to keep the peace. But every time his wife got upset, he'd apologize. Even when he didn't do anything wrong. She'd create drama out of thin air, and he'd rush to calm her down. Over time, her respect for him eroded. Not because he was mean, because he was too nice. She eventually left him. Not for a bad boy, but for a man who simply didn't bend to every emotional storm. And when Alex came to me afterward, he said, "But I always apologized. I always tried to make peace." And I told him, "Exactly. That's why she left. You turned yourself into a doormat. and no one loves a doormat. They just walk over it. What's really going on in her mind? Here's the psychology behind it, and it's fascinating. When a woman gets upset, her brain releases chemicals, adrenaline, dopamine, cortisol. It's emotional electricity. When you instantly apologize, you give her another hit of dopamine, victory. You've just reinforced the behavior. So the next time she's bored, anxious, or uncertain, she unconsciously seeks that same chemical high through drama. It becomes addictive, and each cycle, she needs more of it to feel alive. But when you stop feeding the addiction, when you stay calm, grounded, unfazed, something shifts. At first she'll escalate, trying hard to get the old reaction. But eventually, when it doesn't work, the pattern breaks, and that's when her respect starts to return. The wolf principle. There's something I call the wolf principle. In nature, when two wolves have conflict, the alpha doesn't fight or submit right away. He waits, observes, measures. Most of the time, calm dominance ends the fight without blood. That's your model. Stay calm. Assess what's real. Is this a genuine issue? Then handle it with clarity. Is it manufactured drama? Then stay centered. Let the storm pass, and don't reward it. This isn't about coldness. It's about control of yourself. The power of composure. The man who keeps his composure holds all the power in a relationship. Not dominance through force, but through self-command. When she loses her temper and you stay calm, you're not just avoiding a fight. You're demonstrating strength. And women find that deeply, almost instinctively attractive. Think about it. Every storm needs something solid to crash against. If you crumble, she feels unsafe. If you stand firm, she can relax. Even if she doesn't admit it. That's emotional leadership. 2 types of conflicts. Every relationship, conflict falls into one of 2 categories. 1. Real issues. You genuinely messed up. Broke a promise. Said something cruel. Neglected her for too long. That requires acknowledgement and correction, not groveling. You're right, I should have called. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. That's responsibility, not submission. Women respect that. 2. Manufactured drama. She's testing, bored, anxious, or seeking attention. That's where your strength is tested. You don't fix it with apologies. You fix it with composure. Real problems require solutions. Manufactured drama requires boundaries. Your behavior trains her behavior. Whatever you reward, you'll get more of. Reward drama with attention, you get more drama. Reward calm communication, you get more peace. It's that simple. But most men are too emotionally reactive to apply it consistently. The next time she gives you the silent treatment, don't chase. Don't beg. Just keep living your life. Go to the gym. Call a friend. Build something. Soon, she'll come around. Not because you demanded it, but because you didn't collapse. The chemistry of attraction. Here's another layer. Biological chemistry. When a woman feels genuine connection, her body releases oxytocin and vasopressin, bonding chemicals. When she's in drama mode, it's dopamine and adrenaline, excitement chemicals. When you constantly apologize, you're feeding her excitement, addiction, instead of her bonding instinct. So she keeps chasing chaos instead of peace. You can't build a stable relationship on adrenaline. It burns hot and dies fast. Peace is where attraction matures, but peace requires your stability. Real masculinity is stability. Masculine energy isn't about domination, it's about direction. The calm confidence that says, I know who I am. I'm not swayed by emotional storms. You become the eye of the hurricane, the still point she can trust. And ironically, once she knows you won't break, she stops trying to test your strength. When to walk away now? Some women live for drama. They grew up in chaos, and peace feels unnatural to them. If you're with one of those women, you have two choices. Accept the chaos or leave it, because you cannot apologize your way into peace with someone addicted to conflict. It's a bottomless pit. Either she heals, or you drown, and you can't heal her by submitting. The turning point. Here's the paradox. When you stop apologizing, when you stop chasing, one of two things will happen. She'll either respect you more and love you deeper, or she'll leave because she can't control you anymore. Either way, you win. You either build a relationship based on respect, or you free yourself from one built on manipulation. Conflict is information. Stop fearing conflict. It's not the enemy. It's feedback. It tells you what's really going on. Her fears, her insecurities, her patterns. If you instantly apologize, you lose that information. You trade understanding for comfort. And that's why nothing changes. Instead, stay curious. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? Is she hurt, or is she testing? Is this real, or is it performance? Approach conflict with analysis, not anxiety. The final shift. Here's the real mindset shift. She won't make peace first, because you trained her not to. Now it's your job to retrain the dynamic, by staying solid even when it's uncomfortable. She might withdraw. She might withhold affection. She might test harder. But if you stay grounded, if you show that your mood, your purpose, your direction don't depend on her emotional weather, she'll eventually recalibrate. Because deep down, every woman craves a man she can trust to stay calm when she can't. And that man, the one who doesn't crumble, doesn't chase, doesn't apologize for his masculinity, that man becomes unforgettable. So the next time there's a fight and she's waiting for you to break first, remember, this is your opportunity to reset the balance. Don't react. Don't collapse. Assess. Stay calm. And lead. If you truly did wrong, acknowledge it, correct it, and move on. If it's manufactured, disengage. Either way, stay composed. Because respect doesn't come from flowers, gifts, or apologies. It comes from strength. And strength, my friend, is the foundation of love that lasts. Choose calm over chaos. Choose composure over control. Choose self-respect, and you'll never have to beg for hers.